You mean this mic? Oh!
Wait, oh, it's just us?
Can we stand back here?
Yeah, can we
Can
like...
we just stand back here? Huh? Up there?
Excuse me.
We're not.
Excuse me.
Carly, we're standing up here.
Perfect.
It's not our picture. Our picture, they can hear us. I can't be live. They can hear us.
But like, they can't see us?
No. But nobody watches live video.
I'm putting the mic right here.
Nobody watches the live video. So it's fine. They don't. I don't know anybody that watches it. Like, they might watch the church one, but why did they watch ours? We're not that popular. We're playing the loners.
What song are we singing first? Wait, what's the order?
Carly, you got it.
No. Okay, come here.
Stand.
No, yeah, but you're doing it. I'm not doing
Oh. Okay, hey y'all. We can come up now.
Stand up! Aw, he...
You give Thank you for all the blessings that you have bestowed on my life, Lord, and everybody around here. I thank you for the good health that you've given us. And I just pray that you keep your hand on each one of us as we go back to school, even though we don't want to, but we have to. And just keep your hand over the school, Lord, and help us be a light as we go back in and show them that we are not the same as we were when this whole stuff started, that there is something different about us, and that they can see a change in who we are, Lord. And I just thank you for just what you've done for our lives. Amen.
Night Awesome job. Thank you so much, worship team. Incredible job tonight. Well, it's so good to be back within our youth room. I know last week we had a great time out in the sanctuary, didn't we? Wasn't that such an awesome time out there? Yeah, it felt so good being up there and getting embarrassed in front of all the adults and everything, and just awesomeness, wasn't it? And I also want to say thank you to the youth that showed up to revival. Man, that's right. I had some youth show up to revival, and I'm just so thankful you guys showed up. And, I mean, I don't even know why you guys showed up, but I'm super proud of you guys. So, awesome. Awesome work. Well, so let's go off with our announcements before we jump in tonight. So, first off, if you guys remember, we moved our boat trip to a Monday because all the Saturdays were full. So, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, it's coming Monday. Monday the 17th? No, you don't. State of Arkansas doesn't start till the 24th. Well, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sure you're going to be okay. Your mom knows about it. Your mom knows about it. Don't worry. You could call it science. See, this will be your science. So all the homeschool kids, you guys are going to have science on Monday out in the field. So your parents know times and pickups and all that kind of fun stuff. The ones that live close to here, you guys can meet over here. Yeah, no, you're going to be different. Well, because you got practice.
But when are you guys going?
The first crew is leaving Harrison at 11. I know. And so I'm gonna have to talk to some of my leaders about staying in town and picking up the second crew. And then I've also got to talk to my leaders and see which one of you have a boating license. Yes. Hey, you going? Are you going? What? You got to work. Dude, you'll be up by then, won't you? You can sleep till 12:30. Yeah, you can sleep till 12:30. Because you'll probably have to be on the second boat. So, huh? Yeah, I'll drive the rental. Yeah, so I'll drive the rental, and I'll have to have you on the second one. So, yeah. I'll have to talk to Mr. Buddy Mills. So, yo, what's up? Wendy's. We're meeting at Wendy's at 11 a.m. Wendy's at 11. Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of a central point for some people that live in town and stuff. So, it's convenient. So, okay. So that's this coming Monday. So excited. How many of you guys are going? Is everybody going in this room? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, your brother also had to. I know. Well, don't feel bad if you can't. Don't feel bad. So anyway, what's up? 2 questions. Yes. Swim apparel. That is correct. This is church, so no bikinis. I'm sorry. No bikinis, ladies. No bikinis. No. Carly checked. Carly has checked and has got it verified. Yeah.
Why can't we wear athletic shorts and a bikini top? There's nothing wrong with
I'm sorry. Whoa, no, we're not taking a vote. See, that's exactly why we can't do it. Because this boy over here was like, hey, who wants to take a vote? Yeah, let's wear bikini tops. That's why we can't do it. What's your second question? The plan for lunch? Well, so last year we had sub sandwiches, we had snacks, cookies, stuff like that. We had drinks for everybody. The wonderful youth pastors had all of that. So, but if you want something particular, you have to bring it yourself. We are live tonight again, guys, just to let you guys know. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, because we're going to Cricket Marina, guys. So Cricket Marina is literally like 25 minutes away. What's up? Uh-huh. Yeah, so it would be somewhere, but I can tell you at Cricket, we don't get much service. I can tell you that. Now, if you gave me a specific time, we can meet you back at the dock. You know what I'm saying? So we have to get the boat back at 5:30, back to the dock. What's up? We got to pull it. What? You're going to pull? Oh, I don't know if I'll, I mean, you can if you want, or I can haul it with the church van. Huh? No, the boat's already up the dock. Yeah, I mean, you could, I mean, you can if you want, you know. No, you can. I mean, we're going to be asking Mr. Buddy Mills, so I mean, you know, it's, huh? No, I think he'd be working and stuff, so I mean, I just, you know. Plus, I mean, I can't have too many adults go because I've got so many youth going this year. So, yeah. Hey, Riley, I haven't heard, are you guys going or not? Yeah, I'm not sure either. Is your mom here tonight? Okay. Okay, well, we'll ask your mom a little bit later, okay? Make sure she talks to me, communicates. So, okay, any other questions in that regards? Boys, though, really fast. Boys, just like at youth camp, you got to have shirts on, though. That's it. No, you get. I wear white swimming shirts, but you can't see through them. Like they're specifically swimming shirts. No, not a white T-shirt. But boys, you's got to have a shirt on too. You got to hide up those man pecs. Yo, can you wear shorts? I mean, like a sundress, you mean, or something? I don't. So this is what I told Carly. I told Carly to ask my wife, and so I guess ask Brenna about that, and ask Melissa, and they'll decide that. I don't know. Here we go. No tankini. I don't know what a tankini is. Don't show the 3 B's. Let's go with that. Butts, bellies, and boobs. Can they wear like a sundress T-shirt or something? Yes. No. Okay. No boobs, butts, or bellies. 3 B's. Same goes for boys. Okay. Okay. Is everybody clear on this? Good. Let's move on because, man, we're just way behind at this point. Man, way behind. Okay. Open house. Open house this year, August the 26th, 6:30, just like last year. You know, we had a blue foam slip and slide. What's that, Connor? Are we going to have another lock-in? Well, I mean, last year I released the full schedule on August 26th. So the full schedule will be released again on August 26th. What's that? Well, I'm sorry. Hey, yeah. But this is the only reason why I would say no to that, is because that will be a school night, and we'll get back at like midnight. Actually, Chris, whenever it comes to school, right, he's in bed 9 o'clock, aren't you? I'll ask parents. But I know. I'll ask parents about it. So, there's a concert down at the drive-in down in Marshall but it's on a Wednesday night, and it's like into September. It's like Stephen Curtis Chapman, Matt Powell. Yeah. So there's like a concert down there at the drive-in theater, but you can only have a maximum of 6 people in a vehicle. Well, I know, but my goodness, though. But I'm just saying, it is a school night, I think, but I'm going to ask. I will ask. Okay, awesome. Okay, September like 23rd or something like that, isn't it? No. I got it, no. Okay, anyway, October the 26th, that evening we'll release a full schedule for you guys, just like what we did last year. We'll also have Blue Foam, Slip and Slide. I don't know why we're talking so much tonight. This is amazing. And so here we go. Let's get started with our wonderful lesson tonight. So we can do for others what God has done for us. So really quickly, though, I want to ask the youth that were here last night, what was his message on? That is incorrect. That was finding breakthrough. That wasn't last night. No, like what was his sermon last night? I mean, it's so easy. Do you not even know? Sister Brenna. Well, okay, that was in there. That was a statement. But his actual message title, if you guys remember, After This. After This. Woo! Man. Woo, howdy. Yeah, I know you knew it. That was just a test. Y'all failed. Okay. So what is your favorite feud and why? What is your favorite feud and why? Oh, that's horrible color. That's like a light blue. What? What? Family Feud is your favorite feud? I know you do. I know. Oh. What's that? What's your favorite feud? Nah, just a feud. It could be fictional, it could be real, it could be whatever you think it should be, right? Like the Hatfields and McCoy. It could be like, LeBron and Steph Curry. I thought that would get Cade's attention tonight. No, Chris is running the computer. Huh? No. So what's your favorite? A feud is like a big fight, right? Kind of like you and your brother probably have feuds all the time. What? The camera turned off. What? Oh man, is it not? Oh, I forgot to plug it in. That's why. I bet my battery died. Well, that's sad. Yeah, what's your favorite feud? Oh, Rocky and the big Russian dude. Anybody remember the name? Huh, do you remember? The Russian dude from Rocky. You remember? Yeah, I can't remember. We just watched, what was it, Creed 2 or something like that here a while back. And so I guess it was in there. So, yeah, so I don't know, but so yours is Rocky and the Russian dude. Anybody else? Anybody else got a favorite feud? The Office. This is sad. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, that was a good one. Riley, the what? The Warrior Cats. Oh, I don't know that book. Brennan knows it. The Warrior Cats. That sounds amazing. What else? Anybody else? Favorite feud, fictional or real? Nobody else? Whoa. The Roadrunner. Oh, Roadrunner and the Coyote. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Tom and Jerry, exactly. Yeah. The what goes after the duck? Oh, yeah, Elmer Fudd. Elmer Fudd. Nice. Elmer Fudd. Yep. Somebody, I'm looking for my extension cord. Somebody took my extension cord. This is really sad. Hey, Chris, is there an extension cord in that drawer or underneath there? Can you look for me, buddy? Okay, well, so a feud, right? You know, obviously, I think a lot of us like to see a good feud every once in a while, especially whenever it's in good, I mean, just good behavior, right? You know, especially like Elmer Fudd trying to hunt the rabbit, something like that. Everybody loves a good feud. But nobody, though, likes a feud whenever it really impacts your life. Whenever it finally impacts you, your family, your best friend, whatever it may be, right? It's not so fun then. And so whenever it impacts your real relationships, at that moment in your life, you're like, man, I don't want to be in this. So, you know, I've had a few of those moments within my life. Just this morning, Brenda got on to me for taking her flash drive. I didn't take her flash drive. Man, she started yelling at me, and she's like, if this was your flash drive, you would be so mad at me. I don't know where my flash drive is. Oh, I'm going to tell you something. Guys, no, this was not an overreaction. Literally, she got so hot, the ice in the refrigerator melted. I'm telling you guys, Brenna's got a temper on her. Oh, she does. I'm telling you. And so she yelled at me this morning. And I was just like, I was working. Like I got started to work like at 6 o'clock this morning. I was just trying to do my work, and I just got up to try and help her. And then all of a sudden, man, just, and I was just like, and then so I just like went back, and she was like, "You're not helping." And I was like, oh. And so I just went back to working again. Then all of a sudden, then she yelled from the other room, and she found it in her nightstand. Huh? Interesting, isn't it? Yeah. That's it. That's what happens. That's what happens. That's right. No, but yeah. Whenever it impacts your life, though, you're just like, oh, this is terrible. But there was another one of those moments within my life. Have you not found an extension cord in there? Man, it's so sad. Because my phone died. And man, it's so sad. Yeah, it's off. So, I know. Don't worry, they can still hear us, though. So, there was a moment within my life, and guys that's been going through our Authentic Love series on Sunday mornings. You know, I kind of told you part of this story Sunday morning, and so now the rest of them get to hear it in case they haven't heard it before, which they probably have, but that's fine because whenever you start to, like, do this so much, then you just forget which stories you tell and just kind of you tell it again. And so, but there was one time whenever Brenda and I we were dating at the time, and we had not gotten engaged just yet, but we kind of felt like we were heading in that direction. And so Brenna's lease was coming up at the Links, it was, I believe. And so we had started looking at some houses. And so really we were just going to kind of get a house together. I was still going to stay at home, but she was going to live there since her lease was coming up, all that kind of fun jazz. And so we had been looking, and so we had finally kind of found one. And well, so I went home, was talking to my dad about it, and man, my dad just like blew a gasket. I mean, he just like, it was like World War III about to happen in this home. And so, you know, things just kind of escalated, and he finally said these words. He finally said, "Son, I hope you fall flat on your face." Man, yeah. How would you guys like it if your dad told you, "I hope you fall flat on your face"? How would you like that? I mean, nobody'd like that. I mean, this was like, what do you even do? I remember standing there and in the most calm voice that I've ever probably spoken before. Because, man, I've got a temper too whenever it comes down to it. And I finally I looked at my dad and I said, "You should feel ashamed." I was like, "You should feel ashamed." And so Dad, in that moment, he all of a sudden, like, he was propped up in his recliner, right, feet up, and all of a sudden, man, that lazy boy came flying down, right, and closed. I remember him pointing and saying, "You get out of my house by the end of the year." I was like, okay, not a problem. Man, I was out, what, a week later? Something like that? I mean, we found somebody that was trying to get out of the links, and I was out a week later. You see, whenever a feud really starts to impact you, it ain't all fun and games. Man, it makes it rough. Especially whenever your own dad is the one that you're feuding with. I mean, dads aren't supposed to be the one you're feuding with. Dads are supposed to be the ones that love and care for you forever, right? We look to the Bible, and what does the Bible show us? The Bible shows us exactly what a father is supposed to look like. Someone that's always there. Someone that shows you love no matter what. Someone that you can lean on. Man, it's tough though. There are times whenever I see myself, man, becoming like my dad in some respect. I got to catch myself. Because, man, I never want to tell my daughters, I hope you fall flat on your face. Unless maybe they're a bounce mania. I don't know. But I certainly don't want to do it whenever it comes to life, though. I never want to be the dad that tells my children, man, you're worthless. I hope you fall flat on your face. So, you see, whenever we start to have feuds, we all of a sudden start to build a wall of resentment. A wall of resentment. This is why I wanted the thing. Because, I mean, this would have been so cool on camera, but it's just not going to happen. So obviously what happens is you start to kind of build up this thing, right? Starts to just kind of block you in. And sometimes you don't even know what's really being built out of, but sometimes you know. Sometimes like hurt feelings, right? Sometimes your wall is just built out of just simple as something like hurt feelings. You get your feelings hurt, man, all of a sudden you just think, oh, I don't ever talk to this person ever again, right? Never again. And then sometimes what happens is that the wall all of a sudden starts to get built more, and maybe it's just a simple misunderstanding. Maybe you interpreted something wrong. Maybe the other person interpreted something wrong. And it was just a huge misunderstanding. But this wall just continues to grow just a little bit more. And just a little bit more. And it's just like, man, I was like, this thing just keeps on going. And maybe even sometimes, man, maybe it's just a little bit of the green-eyed monster. What's the green-eyed monster? What? Jealousy. Man, did you guys never read the Berenstain Bears? Yeah, the Berenstain Bears. Everybody knows how to do that, right? Whew, that was so close, wasn't it? I wasn't even paying attention. It don't matter, whichever one. So your wall just starts to get built up. What else? What else do we see here that maybe sometimes our wall is going to get built out of? So we've got hurt feelings, we've got misunderstanding, we've got jealousy. What else can it get built out of? A wall of resentment. Pride.
When you hold things in and bottle things up.
A grudge? Is that what you're talking about? Kind of. Something like that. I don't know, something. You bottled up inside, and you just don't want to talk to anybody about it. It just continues to grow and just escalates, right?
If you have a problem with somebody, but you never tell them about it.
Withholding information. I don't know. I get. Well, I mean, it's like a guy, right? Most of the time, what do men do, right? Men don't like to share feelings. Is that what you're talking about? No, that's still not what you're talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. You okay. Yeah, you don't like confrontation. Right. Yeah, then it's not fine. So it's good. Yeah, you're You're just like, okay, no, I'm totally cool. You go to your room, and then all of a sudden you sit there and start to stew a little bit, and then all of a sudden you're like, no, I really hate my brother. So who you gonna tell then you hate? I mean, oh, good. I hope you never said you hate your brother. That'd be really bad. Well, so you see that. So pride can get there, grudges, and then whatever Kaylee's talking about. I don't know. Whatever Kaylee's talking about. Well, what else? What else is there? Is there anything else? There is lots of things. There's tons of little things that just kind of compound on one another. And you see, it just gets in the way. I mean, like now, what happens? Now I can't even get to the altar. This wall has built up, and now I can't even get to the altar. You're right. I need 2 more boxes, don't I? I need 2 more boxes. Just go around. Well, that's not the way that it works, right? But see, sometimes these walls of resentment, they get built up. Sometimes it's with family. Sometimes it's with your friends. Sometimes it can happen at your workplace, right? It can just happen no matter where that you're at. You see, we fight, we compare, we compete, and then sometimes we just silence. We stop talking. That's it. We're done. We don't need to talk to them anymore. You see, all these individual bricks, they eventually grow. They grow into a wall of separation with our relationships. Because why? Because we resent them. You see, this is a problem for many of us today. But it was a problem, though, way back when as well. Where were we last week? Back in the sanctuary. Do you guys remember where we were in the Bible? Man, you guys don't even remember. Well, I don't even know why I asked that question. You guys don't remember where we were last night. I don't know why in the world I just asked that question. Well, guys, if you guys remember, it was a book. Yeah, we talked about church, didn't we? You are correct. We did talk about church. No, like we talked. No, we really did. Like we talked specifically. Yeah. Exactly. No, we really did. We talked about, we kind of talked about essentially in regards to, well, I was just looking for specifically about a book, right? We were in the book that Paul wrote. What was the book that Paul wrote? Starts with an E. It was a letter to a church. Ephesians, right? So we were in Ephesians last week. Are we back? Oh, we're back. Woo, fantastic. We're back. Woo. Man, that was so scary for a little bit. So we're back in Ephesians. So we started with Ephesians and we started talking about Paul, right? Not our Paul back here, but instead the Paul that was an apostle, and he was so much cooler than our Paul. And so, but we did talk about the church is so much more than a building or an event. The church is so much more. We make it just about, we're gonna have a lock-in. No, that's not what the church is about. No, it's much more than that. You see, it's much more than just a Sunday. It's much more than just a Wednesday. The church, we need to be the church all the time. Whenever you leave these walls, you're still the church. So that's what we talked about, is that the church is a community of people trying to follow Jesus. That's what the church is. So in the early days of church, right, before social media and all this other stuff, well, the best way to get the word around was what? Writing letters. Writing letters. Guys, I still write letters every once in a while, but I think they're cool. I think they're cool. It is, isn't it? It's so nice to get, you pay that 50 cents to get it put in the mailbox, and all of a sudden you're just like waiting in anticipation for the person back, I got your letter. I think it's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really cool. Although I'll say this, Melissa Davis over here, I'm sorry, ain't nobody got nothing on this lady. I mean, if you have them over for dinner, it's like the very next day you receive a thank you for the dinner that they just had. And I'm like, I don't even know how she does it. I think she does. I think she literally sends it a day early and be like, thank you so much for the awesome dinner that we had. And you're like, We just had it. It has a stamp, though. You wouldn't waste 50 cents on a stamp and then, like, put it in somebody's mailbox. I don't know, but I'll say this. Melissa Davis is awesome at getting like, she must have an awesome stationery at home. Yeah. So the early church was made up of two groups. You guys remember the two groups? Two groups. Man, this crash and burn. Jews and Gentiles, right? They were made up of Jews and Gentiles. What was Jesus? Jesus was a Jew, right? Jesus was a Jew, and everybody who was a Gentile was what? Everybody that wasn't a Jew, right? That's it, outsiders. Anybody that wasn't a Jew was considered a Gentile. So this was the two groups that was made up. So when Jesus arrived and declared that everyone, Jesus said everyone is invited to the family of God. That blew everybody's mind. Because the problem is that the Jews hated Gentiles. Gentiles hated Jews, man. They didn't want it. They built up huge walls between each other. Huge walls. And so it's just like, oh, man, this ain't going to work. But you see, Jesus was like, no, this is going to work. And so Paul, he started writing this letter, right, in Ephesians to the church of Ephesus. And so we find that in Ephesians 2:11 through 18, we find here that he's talking about essentially about the walls that have been built up. So he's talking about, therefore remember that at one time you Gentiles in the flesh called the earned circumcision, by what is called the circumcision which is made in the flesh by hands. Remember that you were at that time separated from Christ. You were alienated from the commonwealth of Israel and strangers to the covenants of promise, having no hope without God in the world. They had absolutely no hope is what it's saying. Paul's like, man, you guys could die and nobody would care. That's essentially what he's saying. So whenever your friend that you still haven't invited to come to youth group yet, if they were to die tomorrow, guess what? They would have no hope. I hope that opens your eyes. But now in Christ, Jesus, you who once were far off have been brought near by the blood of Christ. For he himself is our peace, who has made us both one, and has broken down in his flesh the dividing wall of hostility by abolishing the law of commandments expressed in the ordinances, that he might create in himself one new man in place of two, so making peace, and might reconcile us both to God in one body through the cross, thereby killing the hostility. And he came and he preached peace to you who were far off, and peace to those who were near. For through him we both have access in one spirit to the Father. So you see, there's a whole lot that's going on here. So let me give you a quick summary. Paul's talking about two walls. He's talking about, number one, he's talking about how the Jews and the Gentiles were separated from one another. But then he's also talking about the wall that was built and separated us from God. And so, you see, this wall, it wasn't built by just disagreements or misunderstandings. But instead, the wall between us and God was built on what? Sin. From the very beginning, you see, there's always been a wall after Adam and Eve sinned. There's always been a wall that's been between us and the altar, between us and God, between us and receiving so much more. So if that's the case, then that means if we don't listen to our parents, we're building those bricks back. Whenever we're mean to our brothers and sisters, we're building the bricks back. You see, whenever we continue to do things within our life that we think nobody else knows, but we know it's a sin, you're building the bricks back and you're putting the wall of separation between you and God. Your friends that they don't believe, because their wall is still there. How are they ever going to make it to God if you don't help them? You see, Paul says through Jesus, both walls can be knocked down. Do you feel like there is a wall between you and someone else right now? Anybody? Yeah? What do you do about it? What do you do about that? How do you get rid of the wall? Man, nobody knows. Have you ever felt distant or disconnected? That's supposed to be a big G. I don't know why it's a little G. That's true. I'll agree with that.
So I would say that maybe I do have a wall on some people, but I wouldn't say it's a wall of forgiveness.
Sure.
But maybe of just safety.
Yeah, I understand that. But there are moments within our life God will ask us to step away from somebody anyway. That's just going to happen in life. And so obviously, right, sometimes we do have to build up walls of safety. And maybe it's a wall of safety in the fact that maybe that person's going to cause you to sin. I mean, if this person causes you to be angry all the time, I hate to tell you, but maybe they're causing you to sin then all the time. So maybe you do have to distance yourself. So have you ever felt distant or disconnected from God? Be honest. Oh, absolutely. 100% I have felt distant or disconnected from God. Guys, there have been times this year that I have felt distant or disconnected from God. Because whenever you're bombarded from all sides, from whether it's the news, whether it's social media, whether it's your friends, whether it's your family, and you're getting just a barrage of just opinions and thoughts and everything else, what happens? You just become so convoluted up here, you don't even know what to think. And so, yeah, I've definitely felt distant or disconnected from God. You see, have you guys ever heard the phrase, Jesus saves? Everybody's heard that, right? Everybody, I mean, maybe you're sitting on a poster, right? I mean, we've all seen Facing the Giants and all those movies like that, and it's all like, Jesus saves, right? Man, it's so awesome, isn't it? You see, the word saved, what does it actually mean to be saved? What does it mean? What does it mean to you, Paul, to be saved? You're realizing what? If you can't explain it to me, you can't explain it to your friend. Got to work on that. Sure. Right. Right. It's true. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's it. You see, I mean, in my opinion, right, Jesus saves us every day probably, right? He saves us from some situations that we shouldn't be in, right? He saves us from getting plummeted by the youth pastor and throwing a box at these group of boys over here. He saves us because he loves for us. You see, Jesus saves and then saved, right? So saved in particular, it means that he rescued us from sin. He rescued us from a lifestyle that would keep us disconnected from God. And so, you see, sin is what we needed to be saved from. You see, it's the one thing that robs us every single time of our purpose. See, that's what God is trying to do, is he's trying to tell us what our purpose is in life because he has something so special for us. But then what is the devil trying to do? The devil is trying to do everything possible to try and not let you do your purpose in life. If he can stop you from doing what God has called you to do, then man, he could impact thousands of people as well for the negative. You see, sin was inherited by every single one of us. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you were born into church. I don't care if you started coming to church yesterday. Every single one of you have sinned. Each one of you have a wall. It doesn't matter. If you feel disconnected from God right now, then maybe you need to see what your wall looks like. Because if you can't see over your wall, how can you see God? You see, Jesus, he fixed it. Through his death and then resurrection, he gave us a way to do what? To break down the wall. So, sure. Come on up, Connor. Oh, sure. Come on up. Come on. Come on up. Come on up. No, here. You stand on this side. Connor, you stay on this side. Okay? You got to see this, right? So Paul, he talked a lot about reconciliation. What does reconciled mean? What does reconciled mean? Reconciled? Forgiveness? To mend? Yeah. Jesus reconciled us is what Paul is trying to tell us. And so, you see, first, Paul described the way that Jesus tore down the walls, right? Tear them down. Just get them out of the way, tear them down. Just get them out of the way, who cares? Get them out of the way. Get them out, you see? Now, well, where you guys going, though? You guys aren't done yet. Get back over here and face each other. You see, it's an incredible thing whenever Jesus gave us the moment to tear down the wall, right? Incredible. Doesn't that feel so much better? Didn't you feel awesome tearing that down? Yeah, you did. You're just like, yes, I'm a man. So, but there's something else that Jesus did at the same time. Not only did he allow you to tear down the walls, but then what did he allow us to do? You see, Jesus allowed us then to create something new. Whenever you want to sit down with somebody and really have a conversation, what do? Where do you normally sit at? But you're normally sitting at a what? At a table. Build a table for me, guys. Build a table. You see, Jesus, he created, just build a table. He created something new. It's a new way for us to be close to God. You see, what Paul was trying to say was, it was a new way for Jews and Gentiles to start to come together. You see, because obviously, right, since Jews and Gentiles, since there was this wall for so long, since there was something there for so long dividing them, he's saying Jesus has given you a way to come and to sit. Yeah, you got to try and sit down, don't you? You see, whenever I think about reconciliation, I think about the table, right? Why do I think about a table? Can you do it? Can you sit down? I know. Yeah, try it. Try it. Try it. Try it. Try it. Oh, you broke my box. Broke my box. Okay. It's okay. You guys can clear the boxes out of the way. We all get the point, though. You see, no, like over here. Yeah, get them all over here. You see, whenever we sit down at a table, what typically happens, a lot of times we're seeing eye to eye with the individual. We're looking them right in the face. We're seeing them eye to eye. It allows us to have a conversation with one another. It allows us to have that conversation. A lot of the times at the table, what do? We share meals together. Everybody loves to eat, don't we? You see, it allows us to share a meal together. And especially if you have a table, a lot of the times you can invite others to come and join you. So you see, whenever Jesus tore down the walls and he created something new, he gave us an opportunity to come together, look at each other, and have conversations, to share our lives, and then also to do what? To invite others to join us. So, although we are separated from God and from each other, God, he wanted to make a way. He wanted to make it possible through Jesus that we would have peace. Not only peace with God, but peace with others. He didn't want us feuding all the time. He didn't want that to happen. You see, in the early part of the church, You see, both groups, Jews and Gentiles, both had traditions that they wanted to hold on to. They both had thoughts and opinions. They both, obviously, they were judging one another. They were both stubborn. Man, but Paul knew that these walls would only continue to divide people, but that's not what God wanted. And so he was like, look, through Jesus Christ, God has tore down these walls. And he's like, it's time to get together, and it's time to sit down at the table. You see, just like God, he took the first step towards us. What do we need to do? We've got to take the first step towards others. We've got to be the one sometimes that'd be like, oh, okay, look, here's the deal. Man, I'm so sorry for acting like a bozo. Oh, you guys leaving? Adios. See you later. I need to know about Monday. Okay, thank you. Just like Jesus tore down the walls that divided us from God, we can do what? We can begin to tear down the walls of others. Just like Jesus built a new way for us to connect, what can we do? We can start to build a new way to connect with one another. You see, God's family, we can do for others, right? Just as what? Just as God has done for us. Don't get me wrong, though. It's not always easy to reconcile with people that we disagree with. Tearing down walls, well, it can be really difficult. It can be really challenging. You see, something new to us, maybe like humbling ourselves, maybe asking for forgiveness, maybe giving forgiveness. Let me tell you what happened between my dad and I. So after I got the apartment signed, moving out my stuff, I was leaving and Dad came out. I was on the front porch. He came out on the front porch and he said, son, I'm sorry for what I said. Still to this day, I am the only person alive that has ever gotten an apology from my dad. My mom can tell you that he has never apologized to her one time for anything. He's never apologized to my grandpa, nobody else. I'm the only one in the entire world that my dad has ever said I'm sorry to. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, it is, isn't it? It is. But you know, sometimes in life you're going to face those types of individuals. Sometimes in life we're going to have individuals that may never give you forgiveness. Why? I don't know. I have no idea why the individual is like that. But I can tell you what the Bible says about it. I can tell you that the Bible tells us what? That if we don't forgive, what happens to us? How can you be forgiven? So you see, experiences like this one, they're tangible reminders. I will never forget the moment that my dad told me that, but I will also never forget the moment that he told me, I'm sorry, son. You see, Jesus did this. He did this so willingly. He did it so willingly, so that way God and us can have a relationship. So that way Jesus and us can have a relationship. That way we can have a relationship with others. But yet we make it so hard. So what does reconcile mean in your own words? We come together. Jesus created a new way for us to reconcile, for us to come together to find common ground with one another. In Colossians 3:13 it says, bearing with one another, and if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other, as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. Which one's more difficult? Asking for forgiveness or giving forgiveness? There is pride in both. It's true. That's it. I think depending on the situation, I think is whenever it truly depends. I mean, there are moments within our life that as far as just giving forgiveness is extremely hard. But there are also moments when if we realize that we were the one in the wrong and we did something terrible, man, it's tough to go back and be like, I'm so sorry. Just like Brenna she still hasn't asked for forgiveness yet from this morning. She probably won't either. So this week I want to start to challenge you that you need to start tearing down walls. And you need to start building a new table. You know, maybe the wall you need to tear down, maybe it's between you and God. You see, Jesus, he's already made a way for you to come to him. It's so easy. But maybe you need to do some work to remove the obstacles that you have put in place. Or maybe the wall that you need to tear down is between you and somebody else. You see, maybe, just like Jesus made the first move of reconciliation, maybe we got to do that towards somebody else. You see, we think our life is so hard sometimes. I mean, you guys are just like, man, whenever your phone gets taken away, whenever you guys don't have all the stuff that you guys want, everything like that, we all complain. When we don't have Fortnite 24/7, I mean, man, we just about explode, don't we? Because let me just tell you about something. Let me tell you about the kids that I've heard about that literally are given a backpack of food on a Friday afternoon and they get on the bus and they eat all the food before they get home because if they know they walk in the door, whenever they get home, their parents will take the backpack and they'll eat it and they won't have anything to eat for the weekend. You think you got it rough just because you can't have a social media app? No. We don't have it rough. You see, guys, we build up walls over such small things. Why? Why do we have such poor relationships with our parents sometimes? Why do we have such poor relationships with our siblings sometimes? Why do we have such poor relationships with our best friends sometimes? This week, we need to learn how to humble ourselves. This week, we need to learn how to ask for forgiveness. And guys, it may be to your parents. This week, you're going to have to give forgiveness. And some of you, it may be to your parents. You see, Paul had to remind the early church how important it was for them to come together. You see, the Bible is still for us today. So essentially, Paul wrote a letter to us saying that we've got to start coming together. You've got to start mending the relationship within your life. You see, the church, which is God's family like what we talked about, we're going to need to tear down all the walls. We're going to have to build new tables. We're going to have to work hard. Because if we don't, guys, there's not going to be a church. How can people find hope within a building that makes them feel worse? They can't. How can somebody find peace whenever there's war going on, whenever all we're doing is throwing stones at each other? It's impossible. How can your friends look up to you whenever all you do is bash maybe your parents in school? That doesn't do anybody any good. We've got to start tearing down some walls, guys. So is there a wall between you and God that needs to be torn down? Is there a wall between you and someone else maybe that needs to be torn down? You see, we can do for others what God has done for us. I know, guys, it's so hard sometimes. It is difficult for us to do that. It's so difficult for us to show somebody such love and such kindness than what God has shown us. But maybe if you have a disconnect between God, maybe you don't know what that love and kindness actually is. You feel like, man, that nobody loves you. Maybe you're asking, who is God? Who is Jesus? Who is he? He doesn't show up whenever I need him the most. I mean, When at VBS, we ask the kids. I love sitting in on some of those sessions and you're asking about God sightings. Some of the things those kids would say, right? The God sightings. Let me ask you the same question. What do you see God in? You guys are older than those little kids. So what do you see God in? The sunset and the sun rises? Where else do you see him? Somebody else say something? I'm sorry? Rainbows? I mean, guys, every time whenever I see a baby, man, I just picture God. Think about how amazing that is. A baby. Formed from something so small you can't even see it, to the point of that. It's amazing. I see God whenever it does rain. You want to know why? Because, man, how is it that all of a sudden the earth could just form rain? I don't think it could. I think somebody just been like, oh, yeah, no, I need something to come down from the sky and water this stuff. I see God everywhere. But you know something, though? There's been so many times within my life whenever I have built up such just minor things and built it in such a huge wall that I have felt that disconnect from God. I have felt the disconnect that God was never there for me. It's so easy to do it. I asked you guys last Wednesday a question in regards to, whenever we were at youth camp and we experienced God in such a powerful way. Who felt God at youth camp? Be honest, who felt God at youth camp? I know you did, Cade. Don't feel ashamed about it. Dude, Cade, I know you felt God. Don't ever feel ashamed about what happened at youth camp. But guys, guess what camp is? Camp was an event. So if the church isn't just about an event, then that means whenever you guys go home at night, I expect you guys to be experiencing God. Whenever you guys leave the house and you guys go back to school, I expect you guys to experience God. And I expect you to do others exactly what God has done for us. I asked Abby to come up and sing this song tonight that we had at youth camp. I thought it was such a powerful song. You found me and you set me on the rock. Such a powerful song. Let's worship for the next few minutes together one more time. And if you guys want to pray with one another, pray with one another. If you guys want to stand there like a bunch of lumps on a log, stand there like a bunch of lumps on a log. That's your business. It's not mine. But how can you impact somebody's life the way God has done it for you if you just never experience it ever again? You never allow it to just flow over you. Let God do something in your life tonight. I don't care if it is 8:15. Guys, if you guys want to hang out until 10:15 tonight because the Spirit of God moves, I'll talk to your parents and tell them I'll bring you home. There was a lot of the times in our youth group that we weren't done until past 10 o'clock. I was at that church from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, from whenever we got out of school, all the way until 10 o'clock at night. That's 6 hours at church. When have you spent 6 hours at church? Even for VBS, you guys didn't spend that long here. But man, I enjoyed it every time I was there. And my parents never asked me one time on a Wednesday night whenever I got home late where I was. Because they knew where I was. They knew I was experiencing God. Can we experience God one more time? Let's do it together. Lord, Lord, I don't know if there's really words that can describe what you do for us. Lord, there was so much between us and God. But then, Lord, what happened? You surrendered everything. You surrendered it all for me. You surrendered it all for everyone in this room. You surrendered it all so we could have more. Lord, I've been so broken that, Lord, that I didn't think there was anything that could pick me back up. But Lord, in that moment, that's whenever I felt you. Lord, we talk about the moment that you stepped off the throne and decided to come down here. But Lord, I think you step off the throne every moment of my life. Because you know that even though I mess up, even though, Lord, that I'm just a man, you step down and you say, Clayton, you're worth it. And then you help me back up. What kind of a Savior does that? Lord, there's nobody in this room that is worthy enough of what you do. And I'm praying tonight for a youth. I'm praying for a youth that will do the same thing that you do for us. I'm praying that, Lord, that they bend down and they stoop down and they help pick somebody else up. Let this be the youth. That, Lord, that whenever the older generation, they look to us, let this be the youth that they say the church is going to be okay. Let this be the youth. Let this be the youth that whenever they say that the church is still in good hands, not just this building, but instead, I'm talking about what you came and created. I pray for every single youth in this room that they are the youth that whenever the people look to them, they say, yes, this is the generation that will love Jesus, that will surrender all for him. Lord, we talk about this generation that they're falling away, but I'm praying a blessing right now upon every single youth in this room, that they are not the generation that falls away, but instead they are the generation that stands now united more than ever. They're broken, Lord. God, they're crying out. And I'm praying that tonight that they be lifted up by you, that you break every chain that is around them, that you break every single, Lord, chain that has been wrapped around them, Lord. Right now in this room, I am declaring that Batavia youth will be risen up, Lord. I'm praying right now that every single individual that is within Batavia youth will be the generation that, Lord, that is risen up out of this And Lord, they're going to be the generation that seeks after you, God. Lord, I'm praying for the walls to be torn down right now within this room. I'm praying for the walls that have been built between their parents and themselves. God, they're crumbling right now. Instead, whenever they walk out of this room, Lord, I'm praying that your presence is so strong within their life that they feel nothing less than compelled to run to their parents and to say, I'm sorry for the way that I have treated you. Forgive me of what I am. I will do better. I pray for the generation that's in this room, that God, that runs, Lord, to their friends and they say, listen, I know of a man. His name is Jesus, and you want to know something that he did within my life? He did something so incredible that there's no way I can describe it unless you experience it with me. I pray for the youth in this room, that they are the generation that, God, whenever they walk out of this room, that, Lord, people see them and they're like, yes, the church is still alive. It's not a building, it's not an event, but instead, what is it? It is a body of believers that still believe in you, God. That still believe whenever there's a sunset, that still believes, God, whenever there's a sunrise, that still believes that whenever there's a rainbow, that still believes whenever the wind blows, that still believes whenever a baby is born, that still believes whenever you make the rain come down, that you're in it. This is the generation, God. This will not be the generation, Lord, that falls away. Lord, I'm believing that and declaring it within this room tonight. They will do something great and mighty for you. I pray right now as we leave this room that your spirit hits them so hard, Lord, that they just surrender everything. I'm ready for an experience, Lord, with you. And I'm ready to see it with this generation that everybody believes God is falling away. In Jesus' name tonight we ask it. Amen. I love you guys. I look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. I look forward to seeing what we do here in our youth group. We'll see you guys Sunday morning. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight.